How's everybody going, guys? Aaron's back with another video. Today we're going to be doing a budget deck profile for the Rockets. So just sit back and enjoy this budget deck profile. Okay, starting off, two copies of Frost Tracers, probably the most important monster in the deck. Its effect is that you can target one face of card you control, destroy it, and SS one Rocket monster directly from deck. And aside from that, it's also a tuner, which is important as we see later on. Next, two copies of Absolute Dragon. When you have a rocket monster in the field, you can special summon it, and its second effect is also pretty cool. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one rocket monster from deck to hand. Next, we're playing two copies of Auto Rocket Dragon. As we know, rocket monsters have very similar effects wherein if a link monster's effect is activated that targets this rocket card, you can destroy that card, and then their different effects gets activated that way. So we see Auto Rocket Dragon when this target whaling monster's effect. You can destroy this and then send one spell trap on the field to the graveyard. So pretty cool back removal there once its effect gets triggered. Next, we have two copies of an Rocket Dragon. Sorry if I butchered that. This effect here is very similar to Auto Rocket. The difference is that this one you can make with this one you can make one face monster on the field unable to attack and negate its effects. Wow! Not only does it's like a permanent effect veiler, sorry, and it also makes the other monster unable to attack. So that's very good. Next, we're playing two copies of Magna Rocket Dragon, whose effect is that you can send one monster in the field to the graveyard if it's targeted by a linked monster's effect. Pretty cool. Next, we're playing some one-offs of the Rockets. Metal Rocket Dragon. You can destroy all your opponent's cards in the column this card was uh, placed in. One Silver Rocket Dragon, which is a super rare by the way. Look at that shine. Wow. One copy of Shell Rocket Dragon, somewhat similar to Metal Rocket, but this one is with this you can destroy one monster in the column this card was in, and if you do, destroy any monster in this card's adjacent zones. So potentially you can out 3 monsters with this card. And a lone copy of Rocket Recharger. If a dark monster you control that was SS from the extra deck is destroyed by battle card effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard and target one of those destroyed monsters. Special summon one dark monster from grave with different original name from that. Okay, so we'll go to some of our extenders. Namely, two copies of Gateway Dragon. I really like this card because if your opponent you can controls a link monster, you can access this, and then when this is summoned, sorry, so once per turn effect, you can special summon one level 4 or lower dark dragon monster from your hand. So basically, when you have this in your field, you get one free special summon. I somehow forgot it to include this in the Rocket monster lineup, but here it is, two copies of Rocket Synchron. It's tuner, and when this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 5 or higher dark dragon monster in the graveyard, special summon it, so that is very much applicable when you have Absolute Dragon in your graveyard. Normal summon Rocket, special summon Absolute from the grave. Next, the Fred Dragon. Only one copy of that. You can special summon this card by sending another monster from your hand to the graveyard. World Chalice Guard Dragon is to protect your Link's monsters. If it is targeted for an effect that would destroy that, you can send this to the graveyard from your hand instead. The Lone Hand Trap, Ghost Spell, and Haunted Mansion. We know what this does. And for this deck, I also play a copy of Dark Armed Dragon, which is really cool, as most of our monsters here have dark attribute, and if you have 3 dark monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon this, and its effect is that you can banish one dark monster from your graveyard, then target one card on the field, destroy the target. What's cool about this? It's not even a once per turn effect. Very cool. Let's now proceed to the spells. Starting off with the archetype specific cards. Boot Sector Launch, and I have one that's just an ultra rare, by the way. Boot Sector Launch, I really like this card, that's why I play 3 of it. You can activate one of its effects, special summon up to 2 rocket monsters per difference if finding your hand in defense position. And the other is, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special summon rocket monsters with different names from your graveyard in defense position up to the difference. Also, all rocket monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense, so it's really cool if you have rockets on your hand with different names or in the graveyard and your opponent controls more. You can just bring him out for your link climb plays. Next, 2 offs of Boreal Regenerator, basically as a monster reborn. From if you have rocket monsters in your grave, the downside of it is that if the monster gets destroyed, it gets banished. Anyway, if your grave monster is destroyed, set this to your graveyard, you can draw 1 card, which is actually a cool bonus effect. 2 offs of Quick Launch. I really wanted to play 3 of these, but I haven't got my hands on a 2 copy. Very cool. You can, as a quick play spell, sorry, you can just special summon 1 rocket monster directly from the deck. But you cannot attack, and you have to destroy it during the end phase. But you have to link them anyway. Next, cards for milling the graveyard, Foolish Boreal and Dragon Shrine. I usually use it for Observator Dragon to get its effect triggered to add rocket monster from deck to hand. Next would be draw power cards. The Lure of Darkness, got it from the Shadow Structure deck. And 2 Squib Draws, you just get to destroy 1 rocket monster control, draw 2 cards, which is very cool, and it triggers the rocket monster's effects. Wherein if they are destroyed, you get to special summon 1 rocket monster from your deck. I haven't said that earlier, sorry. Next would be the fusion spells. 2 polymerizations and 1 rapid trigger. Back removal, you got 10 twisters and MST. That depends on you if you want to use this, or maybe Cosmic Cyclone would be a pretty good alternative. Board Supplier, just a filler here. If you control Boreal Link monster, you can target 1 rocket monster in your graveyard as that during your standby phase. Okay, let's now proceed to the traps. 2 copies of Lost Wind. I really like this card because you can basically recycle it if your opponent special summons from the extra deck, and it is like a permanent effect veiling, and the original attack of the opponent's monster is halved. Wow, for me that's real cool. 1 copy of Mirror Force and 0 Day Blaster. You contribute 1 Dark Link monster. Target cards in the field equal to its link rating, destroy them, and 1 Red Reboot. Let's now go to the extra deck monsters, starting off with 2 copies of Booster Dragon. Its requirement is 2 rocket monsters. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster in the field, gains 500 attack or defense. So you can use this to trigger the various rocket monsters effects when they are targeted by a link monster, right? So pretty cool. Next would be Quad Boreal Dragon. Look at that. So 2 dragon monsters, including rocket monsters. That's what it takes to link summon these. You will have to discard 1 card, then target 1 face-up monster in the field, then destroy the target monster. Sorry. And if that monster happens to be a link monster, you can actually special summon any number of rocket monsters with different names from your hand or graveyard up to link rating. So use this effect, you just get free special summons if you happen to target an opponent's link monster. Next, 1 copy of Twin Triangle Dragon. This isn't included in the structure deck, but I think it's pretty cool. When you activate this effect, you just pay 500 life points, not really a great deal. Then target 1 level 5 or higher monster graveyard, special summon it. You can use Observator Dragon in connection with this. One copy of Mini Boral Dragon. I don't use this too often, just to fill up the space. Next, two copies of Triple Burst Dragon are Link Dream Monster. If this attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. Pretty cool. The other effects of this, I don't really use that often. Next will be the Link Force. Sorry, I got that mixed up. Two copies of Topologic Zerboros, one of my favorite cards. And it has the effect that if another monster is special summoned to a zone a link monster points to, while this is on the field, banish all cards on the field. And once per turn during the standby phase of your next turn, you get to special summon this banished card. So imagine eradicating all cards in the field. And then this card returns during the standby phase of your next turn. And not only that, you get 200 attack for each banished card. So get this could get a lot of attack points, deal a lot of damage to your opponent. Next, two copies of Borolo Dragon, one of my favorite cards of all time, maybe. It requires 3 effect monsters. Neither player can target this card with monster effects. Once per turn, you can target one face-up monster on the field. It loses 100 attack or defense. So you can also use this to target one of your rocket monsters. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card activation. If this attacks an opponent monster, you get to steal that opponent's monster, take control of it until the end phase of the next turn. Very, very cool. And for a fusion monster, that's why we play fusion spells. For Borreload Fierce Dragon, I really like this card. Not only because it is an ultra rare, but also huge beater and has a destroy. You can destroy one monster your opponent controls at the cost of one monster you control, also triggering the Rockets monsters effect. And lastly, I play a copy of Draco, Berserker of the 10E. Very scary artwork on this card, but yeah, still pretty good effect. When your opponent activates a monster's effect, you can just banish that card. And if this card destroys an effect monster per battle, since graveyard, this card gains attack equal to the destroyed monster's original attack, and you can make a second attack. Wow, that's a bit OP. The downside of this is it doesn't have any protection. And being on level 8 synchro, it's very easy to synchro summon this. You'll just have to use Rocket Tracer together with other Link 4 monsters you have. Or alternatively, you can use Rocket Synchron and Observatory Dragon. So that's it for our budget deck profile. Thank you very much for tuning in.